Hello everybody and welcome to day 20 of the playoffs. This is the final match here, match number 4. We've got Team Light versus Team Queen. Whoever wins here takes the entire tournament and will be the winners of the first ever Team KCM. Let's take a look at our lineup. We've got plenty of great matches here today and some surprising matchups as well. Killer versus Queen is going to be our set number 2. We've got Mine versus YSC. Ruin is going to match up against Barracks. And Light goes up against Zealot. And of course, we've got those ladies matches.
Oh, for me, looking at this, I can see the thought process. Picking Queen for Killer, slightly better ZVZ matchup. Zealot's not super good in ZVZ, so putting him up against Light, he's a CVT specialist. Lots of bag of builds of cheeses he can use to take down someone like Light. So I kind of get the thought process behind switching those two players around. As far as the rest of the matchups, I kind of feel like Ruin's going to take out Barracks, Tosco's going to take out Anna, Mine's going to beat YSC, Queen's going to beat Killer, but I'm really not sure about the Kahiri and JB and the Light versus Zealot game.
Yeah, I agree with most of what you said there. I think Zealot is definitely better in ZVT. I'm not sure how it's going to go for Queen against Killer there. ZVZ is such a volatile matchup on Dark Origin, especially that 2-player map could be explosive. I'm really liking this set number 5 with Ruin versus Barracks as well. Ruin has been putting up some amazing games, Barracks too, so should be an awesome fight there on Tempest. I'm really not sure who's going to win that one. These are the greatest teams from this season. Both of them have won either the first or second half. Now they're matched up here in the finals. We're going to find out who is the very best. Which team is going to take that final prize. I hope we get a nice long set here. I'd love to see an ace match in the finals. But of course, anything can happen. That roulette wheel is going to become a factor here. So let's jump into game number 1. All right, as always, starting off with our ladies match here. The lower tier ladies. We've got Kahiri versus JB and a ZVZ, so it should be a quick one.
Yeah, it should be a nice little quick one here. Looks like Kahiri going to be getting the better of JB early game by getting that first scout off. Overlord heading in the right direction. Counterclockwise is the pattern of choice by default on this map, as that's where the expansions are located. However, you can do reverse Overlord scouting sometimes if you want to try and hide the location that you're at, or try and discover their location earlier on and try and like switch your build up at the last second. If you were going to go for a 12 hatch and you see that they would scout you first, then you would quickly switch to a 12 pool to kind of be safer against a 9 pool.
Well, JB's not going to be able to scout here, but she's actually, I think, got a good build going up against what Kahiri is trying. She's gone for a gas trick here with the pool, and she's going to try to expand, I believe. So waiting for that 300 minerals. She's going to send out a drone, take that expansion. She will have some lings out, but JB's gone for a really early gas here. Very, very early. She's going to have ling speed super quick. And I think she's going to try to get ling speed and the lair at the same time. Or am I wrong about that? Is she just going to go lair and have a Mutilus advantage later on? Or what's the plan here, do you think?
No, I think you're right. She's more or less going to go Ling Speed Lair at the same time and have like a power spike. She doesn't necessarily have to get the Ling Speed. She could just go straight Lair and not get Ling Speed, but I feel like she has to get Ling Speed still. I think she did. She's not doing that though thus far. She's just banking up the gas for Mutus maybe.
Yeah, it's really looking now like a Mutilus build here where she's just, I mean, every ZVZ is a Mutilus build, right? But well, I mean, there are certain cases. We've seen Hydralis before, but this is going to be for the quickest Mutilus that you can get and the most Mutilus that you can get as well. Right as the hatchery finishes here. Well, she's going to go double hatchery in main. She's going to pull out a bunch of lings here, just defend the natural and get into a ton of Mutilus. A big Mutilus swell going to come out of JB, whereas Kahiri dropping a 3rd hatchery here in the front. We've actually seen her do this before, right? And it didn't end up working out well for her because there was a ling flood, but this time she's going to get away with it. And she's going to have a lot of larvae to work with here and probably going into spores. I mean, she'll have to, right?
Right. Yeah, basically the way that JB's playing is she's sending out the Zergling scout, and if she sees the Zerglings coming to her with either the Overlord or the Zergling, then she makes link speed and makes additional links to hold the ramp. Whereas in this case, there's no links coming to her early on, so she can instead just kind of chill, make a second hatchery early on, and that way she'll have enough gas and minerals to produce between 5 to 6 Mutalisks when that spire finally pops, and that's like the big power spike that this build is making, like all the way up to like 6 mutas early on. It's just such a powerful spike in this game that you can leverage against your opponent. That is very difficult for them to do anything about it. It looks like Kahiri though is going to instead go for the evolution chamber approach. So for the time being, obviously, I don't think these mutas are going to end the game by any stretch of the word. And if JB wanted to, could also maybe try and expand over and over again rather than try and break Kahiri with these mutas, as there probably will be a lot of spores being produced soon.
Yeah, there's gonna have to be at least 2 spores in each base, but she's definitely got the money to make that happen. She's got plenty of drones. Her supply is looking good. She has so much larva to work with here. It's actually maybe too much larva. We've got a ton in the natural. It's actually produced quite a few drones here in the main. No gas, so it's just tons and tons of drones coming out here. 1 spore going down so far in the natural. I think she needs 2, maybe even 3, because once you hit about that 7 Mutalisk count, you can actually start to break the spores. So if JB doesn't expand here, you can expect to see her just keep building up that Mutalisk count, harass a bit, and then just dive the spore.
Right. Yeah, you can break a spore with 7. Ideally, you want to go in of 8 or 9, just for, like maximum efficiency. Because even if you do pull the mutas away, they can retarget them as they fly back in. So yeah, ideally you want like 8 or 9. But yeah, once you get 7, it starts to become worrying for the other Zerg, and they definitely do need like 2 or 3 spores within those circles of defense to make sure there's no risk of the mutas just coming in and ending the game early.
So JB here, just barely not seeing that. Okay, she does see that Overlord, so she's gonna get the Overlord here for free. But the longer time goes on here, the better the spot that Kahiri is going to be in, because we don't have that natural coming down here for JB. She's gonna be in trouble if she can't get in here and deal some serious damage. So we're watching right now for a natural to come down. We're watching JB to see if she tries to make a transition or if it's just pure Mutalisk popping out. Another creep colony going down. I think Kahiri gonna go up to 3 creeps at each base, and that might just be barely enough to hold on here. Here comes the first harassment. Gonna dive on top of this spore colony, maybe pick off a couple of drones. Oh, this is not going well so far. She didn't target down the first spore right away, and now she's gonna take damage from the second spore as well, losing a couple of Mutalisks already. Here goes another one gonna fall. She's not targeting the spore, so she's not gonna get this extra muta, but she's actually taking control of the mineral line. So this is big for JB. This is exactly what we were expecting from her. Just diving on top of the spore as soon as she had that 7 Mutalisk count.
Yeah, it definitely gives a lot more control to JB in the game, denying the mining for the time being in this space. There'd be a lot of splash glaives as well on these creeps that have been thrown down in a little bit of desperation manner from Kahiri trying to resecure this natural. Is going to be losing this gas at the very least as she desperately tries to build some spores to resecure this. But as long as JB's on top of things, can actually delay this space from being resecured for quite some time and be really frustrating. Meanwhile, though, probably JB needs to be taking an expansion of her own while doing this at the same time. I do not see a drone yet making its way out. Another thing that JB could do is make a lot of Zerglings and like block off the Zergling reinforcement from the main base with the Mutas while then attacking the natural with pure Ling, and eventually that she'll overrun Kahiri that way as well.
Ooh, she's diving here on another sunken colony. If she kills all the sunken colonies here, she could just destroy the space, but she's attacking with just 3 mutas, and that's not good against these spores. It's not going to be enough. Here comes a ton of Lings now. But I think there's enough in the natural to hold this off. We've got a sunken. We've got quite a few Lings. She's going to dive in on 1 more spore, but Kahiri has now secured that. She's taking this very seriously. Here comes those Lings making their way into the natural. No speed on either side, funnily enough. But these mutas are going to be making a problem for Kahiri, killing off some of the Lings as they're fighting. Still not enough, though, to break this natural. And Kahiri going to survive. A natural for JB going to be taken as well.
Yeah, a little bit of a haphazard approach here from JB, kind of like letting the sand slip through her fingers a little bit and not quite securing the hourglass smash that she needed to finish this game with this kind of 1-2 link punch, and didn't really maintain enough Mew account as well to make this happen. And now we see a little bit of an issue because now the Hydras are starting to hatch, and the timing of this attack has kind of like run its course, and now JB gonna have to struggle to just catch up in the economic curve of the game by taking her own expansion and maybe a third, but that's gonna be a little bit slow.
Yeah, it's already a little bit slow. Ooh, getting a free Hydralisk there. Not bad, not bad. This Hydralisk may end up going down as well. Doesn't have anywhere to retreat to. Gonna try to get over here towards the natural, but no, it's gonna lose its life. There's way too many Sunkens and Spores here. You cannot fight this. JB, I think, just gonna have to go home and, yeah, really focus on that macro. At the bare minimum, at least she has double hatchery inside the main, right? She has enough production to really pump this drone count up. She just needs to get this Overlord out, and yeah, she will start to get this natural online. We don't have that second gas for Kahiri just yet. It's going to come up around the same time as the second gas for JB, so she's not ever going to be behind in that gas count. She's just a little bit far behind in the drone, overall drone number, and Kahiri is starting to get big. Starting to get a lot of Hydras out here on the field, and that's going to start to get pretty scary here for JB.
Yeah, and Kahiri's going to be playing just so far ahead of JB, and JB's going to be playing catch up for the rest of the game because Kahiri's already eyeing up her third base right now. While, meanwhile, JB's not even sending out a drone to take hers. So, yeah, really far behind the game in both production, economy, and not necessarily tech, because we have this lair tech online for JB. We have these Mutalisks. They're very mobile units. They can stretch the Hydras thin when they have enough of them, but right now you see just a tiny pitiful flock of Mutas that can't really threaten anything right now. No counterattack. They can come into the main base to take out the Spores. No real like significant amount of Mutas to like micro down the Hydras and thin their numbers out early on to like prevent them from getting to a critical mass. So really not much on the in the works for JB to work with for the time being.
And JB struggling here to get her second base online, but Kahiri with a mass of Hydra moving forward. Gonna utilize this ramp here to try and take a good fight, but not really microing the Mutas very well. She's not gonna get any kills as the Hydras mount that ramp, and they're just pushing straight forward here. Sunken's emergency being thrown down. Kahiri, is she just gonna break this and kill JB right now? It's possible. There's the Sunken colony finishing up. There's a few more on the way here, but this is really eating into the drone number for JB. While back at home, Kahiri is going to be saturating her third base and just pumping up that Hydralisk number more and more. Does she have any upgrades done? I didn't see that. Does Kahiri have +1? Yeah, okay. So she's going to come in here, try to break this front. Can she hold on with the Sunken colonies? Fourth one is about to finish.
Yeah, right now I don't feel like Kahiri should go. In fact, I think going for Kahiri is the one way that she can actually throw the game right now. She just needs to contain JB, let her invest into all these Sunkens, reduce her economy further, and just solidify her position, saturate this third base, and just make an unstoppable critical mass of Hydras with 2-1 on the way. And then eventually you just will not be able to be stopped by JB. So I feel like she should just maintain the game state right now and just macro up more.
Yeah, I definitely agree. JB cannot go across the map with these Mutalisks right now. She's completely stuck here. And a Queen's Nest starts for Kahiri. So she just definitely has plans for the future. Hopefully she doesn't throw her army against this Sunken wall. Hydras are very good against Sunkens, though. They deal a lot of damage. They are that explosive damage, and those buildings do take full explosive damage. So they can bust through here. It's just, like you said, the one way that maybe she could end up losing this game.
Yeah. I feel like she's doing the right thing here by just chilling. She does have her Hydras kind of split up, though, which does allow JB to come out from the natural, start to put a little bit of pressure and harass these Hydra formations and start to reduce their count a little bit. And that's exactly what JB needs to do. If they can just keep fighting these Hydras and like piecemeal sides, needs to be careful though, don't get sandwiched from both sides by the Hydras. They're pincered from both sides, losing so many of those Mutas down to just 6 of 1 on low HP. So I think Kahiri getting the better end of that trade in the end after losing that many mutas. So JB gonna have to run away with a tail between her legs for the time being, while Kahiri just macroing out a monster amount of Hydras over and over again. And now we see the Carapace upgrade for those Hydras come online. +2 is like about another 30 seconds away. So she's looking pretty strong right now. As long as she just make a few more control groups worth of Hydras, I don't feel like JB's gonna be able to fight this.
Yeah, Kahiri is moments away from crashing into the natural. Anytime now she can pull the trigger. Another sunken colony coming up here. Really needs to defend this attack. And actually she's going to go across the map. So big counterattack here from JB. She's going to rely completely on her sunkens. I think she's just going to die here. She really needs to wait until all these sunkens are finished. Otherwise, it's just lights out. I actually think maybe it's still lights out. Even with all of these sunken colonies finished up. That is so many Hydras with that +1/+1. I don't think even 8 sunken colonies can hold on against that.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but there's only 4 spores in the main base, so maybe JB can get a decent trade here. There's Hive on the way. Finally, the trigger's pulled, and here come the Hydras flooding into the gates, trying to target down individual sunkens as best as they can. They do a good job of taking down those one at a time. Now the drone lines are getting ravished by those mutalisks, so damage is being done to the economy of Kahiri while this is going on. But so far, the sunken line has been completely decimated and forced the mutants to go into full retreat mode as they come back to scramble some kind of defense after losing all of those sunkens, and now don't have the static defense of those sunkens to aid them.
Yeah, you look at that number of sunken colonies, like nothing breaks that, but Hydras absolutely can do it. The Mutalisks have come back now. They're going to take this fight with the Hydras, but no micro here from JB. She's just going to let her Mutas kind of target randomly onto these Hydras, and they're not going to do well. Hydras popping through all of these Mutas, not even bringing up the Lings as well. That was definitely a mistake by JB, leaving the Lings behind in that fight. JB gonna tap out here in Kahiri. She definitely knows how to take out these tier 2 Zerg players with that Hydralisk play. Like on paper and, you know, in a regular pro play, Mutalisk is certainly superior. But at these lower tiers where the players don't quite have the Mutalisk micro necessary to take advantage of the Hydralisk player, you know, that can be a really strong play. Hydralisk play can definitely take those situations. So I'm glad to see Kahiri trying out some different styles, trying out the Hydralisk play and utilizing it efficiently to take down these Zergs. And first game here goes to Team Light. Team Queen falling behind early. See if they can bring it back in our next game. Back-to-back ZVZs here with Killer versus Queen coming out next. Queen over in the top left. Killer down here in the bottom right. Look at this. Same build. That's so funny.
Yeah. I mean,
So
we're going to get slight deviations, maybe. Yeah, we're going to get a bit of a knife fight reaction here. I like to see the monkeys fighting in the phone booth with the knives, and you know, who can come out on top. You know, place your bets. So we've got an absolute madman in the southeast of the map, Killer. He's known for his high execution play. He's kind of like similar to Zealot in the sense of he's very heavily reliant on his mechanical ability, but he's certainly not to the same extent of a cheesy player as maybe Zealot is. Not with the same reputation anyway. But a similar vein of player, so I can kind of see why they would be happy with this matchup against Queen. Certainly, I think like Zealot versus Killer it's more or less a coin flip anyway, so why not send in Queen, get a more maybe guaranteed odds of that, and then instead putting Zealot against Light and having a pretty good time with it.
Yeah, and it's funny that Killer, he's on the other team, but he's using JB's build here.
Right.
Going for that early gas, so it's going to be, I imagine, quick speed and layer, but like we saw in that last game, it's possible to just go for a layer and try to hit like a big Mutalisk timing, and maybe that's what we're gonna get here. Queen sending out his first few Lings. He's playing much more standard build. What was that? Overpool into gas? That's a more robust play. It has you know, a higher overall, like, I guess win percentage. Is just, you know, a build that kind of you can kind of fight against anything because it's really middle of the road. But I wonder if Killer's build is kind of better here. He's popped out less lings a little bit later than Queen, and he's got this wall at the front, and he's going to go straight into Mutalisk, and his Mutalisk number is going to be higher than Queen, no doubt.
Yeah, Killer's kind of trying to mitigate Queen a little bit here as well, because he saw the early Lings come out, and usually you take Ling speed when you see this as an knee-jerk reaction, but he didn't. He kind of held himself steadfast in the face of that and didn't take the Ling speed. So now he still has this option of getting this extra hatchery out, getting 6 Mutas out on time when the Spire finishes. If he would have done that if he did a more safe response to what Queen did. He kind of called Queen's bluff a little bit here, and it's going to work out well for him, I think.
Yeah, he's got an extra 120 gas over Queen right now. Queen's gonna get his layer or his Spire down maybe a few seconds earlier than Killer, but no, it's about the same. And
Killer's is way earlier.
Okay, Killer's is earlier. And yeah, we've got a 300 gas advantage here for Killer. So Killer's gonna have an extra 3 Mutalisks over Queen for some time.
Now there is some.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, there's something we should mention, though, is that Killer did limit his options here because he did take Ling speed. So he's actually under a threat from Queen, because Queen could leverage these Lings. If Queen just gets in just a little bit here, this is really... See, this is what I'm talking about. Now that the Queen can get in with just a few Lings, he has to retreat, and then the mineral line's now exposed because of lack of Ling speed. This is the risk that Killer take, and now Queen's trying to make him pay the price for that. He's going to get on top of the spawning pool, force a trade from Killer, but Killer's desperately trying not to have to make that trade, waiting for more Lings to finish before he goes in there. Slow Lings versus speed Lings is very tough to micro, so even if you've got the Ling advantage, and Queen's trying to sneak around and get a few of these drone kills. So far, Killer's done a good job of not losing any of these drones, though, but he's being stretched to the absolute limit right now.
Yeah, he's being stretched here. Just needs to hold on for a few more seconds until these Mutalisks pop out, and I think he's done it well enough that he's going to be able to get out here with these Mutalisks, push away the Lings, and he should have that Ling advantage. We should see him retake his natural ramp and drive these Lings away. This is great play by Killer, and he's going to have that Mutalisk advantage. I think Queen's in a lot of trouble right now. He has his natural down. He's going to start to mine that gas at the natural here, but he's still behind. He's still behind in that Mutalisk count. He's spent the money on the extra hatchery. He's spent the money on this extra gas. He's trying to catch up right now, but Killer's going to have an advantage. Here he comes across the map. Ling's going to combine with these Mutalisks. We got 5 Mutalisks here. How many do we have for Queen? Is it 4? Is it 3?
That's 5.
It's 5 as well. I'm like, how did Queen manage to do this? How did he manage to match?
He forced lava into Lings from Killer, so there was less lava for Mutas from Killer, slowed down the timings.
Well, he spent all his gas now, so he must have had enough larva to spend everything. He's just waiting for this critical mass of Muta and Scourge. Here we go, the big fight. This will be the moment for Killer. He has to do some significant damage here, diving on top of these drones, on top of these Mutas as well. Good connection so far. He's pushing back Queen really, really well. Queen on the full retreat here, and the Lings are going to start to work on these drones as well. So killing off drones. He's still got Scourge coming in. Scourge coming from the back as well. He's going to kill that last worker from Queen, and GG. Killer takes out Queen with a nice little build here, copying JB, getting that early gas and the hatchery in the main, overwhelming with the Mutas. That's kind of what I expected it to look like when we saw the builds there, but it seemed like Queen might have been able to stabilize. It was really, really close, but Killer runs away with that game. What do you have to say about that, Shun?
Well, he's an absolute surgeon with his killer instinct, I have to say, mate. Like, it's really a privilege to watch him play. Like I said earlier on, like, he's such a mechanical, high execution way of thinking, and we saw that there, like, just absolute perfection. He was slowed down a little bit in his power spike because of making a few pairs of Lings, and so the extra Mutas kind of took a while to arrive, but the result was still the same.
Yeah, that extra 200 gas, I mean, in any other matchup, barely matters at all, but in CVZ, these tiny little advantages, the impact in the game is significant. It's huge, in fact, and he manages to leverage that small advantage to run over Queen and take another win. So 2-0 now for Team Light. Team Queen already in a situation where they need to make a comeback and their team captain is down. So this is a rough situation. Can Team Queen bring it back? We're going to find out. All right, guys, place your bets. Do you think Mind can take down YSC here, or you think YSC will make this comeback? Is he going to start the run back here for Team Queen? We're going to find out. I think that YSC can do it. What do you think, Shin?
You could jumble up his name, add a few letters, and just like, do some YMCA moves. Maybe like, motivate his team to a victory. Maybe, I don't know.
You forgot the S, but yeah.
Yeah, to switch that out. Switch that out.
Well, he's going to start off here with just a standard play with the gateway here. No Nexus first or anything like that against Mind. We were talking a little bit in the break about how kind of brainy Mind is and how he's very unlikely to make any serious errors. But
Right.
maybe he's the type of player who might be a little bit, passive, a little bit more, slow and methodical. And maybe YSC can take advantage of that by doing a greedy play a little bit later on, taking extra Nexuses when he maybe shouldn't be able to.
Right. I do think that that's kind of how YSC should be thinking in this game as well. It's kind of like trying to metagame Mind rather than just play a straight up game and like not really like try and outthink him. Like, I do think he got kind of try and play Mind at his own game a little bit and not just let him get away with his slow methodical play. And if you, like I was saying off screen to you, he is this kind of guy that he's not just going to take the center of the map with his army until he absolutely needs to, and then he's probably going to do that after his third base, and when he needs to expand to keep pumping out vultures while attacking, so attacking and defending at the same time. Like he's not going to make any massive blunders, I think, in this matchup. So unless YSC maybe he could go carriers or something, I don't know. Is this vertical line of this map, maybe something could be done to like kind of throw Mind off his game a little bit? I'm just not seeing it right now, Sam.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point. Taking the middle of the map is big here on Retro. The fact that you can take that while pushing as a Terran player and have that extra little bit of income to get the factories online and really pump out those vultures while pushing in towards your opponent is a big factor. But maybe YSC can do something like greedier base and a carrier switch that Mind doesn't scout. Although Mind is just so good at figuring these things out. He's so good at realizing, the game state and understanding the position that he's in and what he needs to do. It is hard to imagine how YSC will manage to pull the wool over Mind's eyes and find a way to outplay him, find a way to metagame him or mind game him. Pardon the pun. But
it's a good pun.
What will YSC do? I don't see YSC breaking Mind early in this game. I feel like that's the one thing that I really don't think is going to happen here is YSC. He's got to take this long. He's got to find a way in on Mind. Maybe a great recall, maybe a carrier switch can win him this game, but I don't think he'll be able to like get over here with a Reaver and actually kill Mind. Mind is just so good at the early game defense. He's so solid in his macro play. I just really don't think that's going to be the case.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in full agreement with you saying. I think that's an astute observation. We do see a pretty good early game scouting denial from both players. The probe didn't really get in that deep. Mind didn't let that slip in. Good target fire down there. And same with on the YSC side of things. The Dragoon chased down the SUV. Nothing really crazy has happened in this game thus far. We do seem, so far though, YSC hasn't elected to throw down any additional gateways, so he's staying more tech focused for the time being, giving himself the option to maybe play a little bit of greedier if he wants to. So I'm interested to see if he's going to go for an early third Nexus here, or if he's going to instead try and put on some more pressure with a faster Reaver timing and maybe slow down Mind. I don't think that's the right choice.
It's looking like just actually Robo. I was expecting Observatory here and immediate third base, but he is going to go for that Reaver. We'll see what kind of damage he can get done with that. Now, I don't think he'll get too much, but, you know, Caster's Curse, he might just, you know, kill Mind here with it. It's totally possible.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, just, it would be completely out of character for Mind to die in this type of situation with just a Reaver here and so few gateways. But YSC, I mean, we'll see what he can do with it. Trying to poke here with the tank. There's 4 Dragoons, so it's a bit scary. If YSC pulls the trigger, tries to dive on this, you absolutely have to pull the SCVs to block. Otherwise, you will just lose that tank. And not going to take that risk here. YSC just backing away as he takes his 3rd base. So he's going to put pressure on with the Reaver while taking the 3rd base here. If he loses his Reaver, he could just straight up die.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, I kind of get why he's doing this. This is kind of, I think he should have just thrown down the earlier Nexus and then did the Reaver as more of an afterthought. But I get why he's playing like this. It makes sense. He's trying to, like, you know, even if he's not guaranteed to get this damage, he wants to, like, you know, dip his finger into the bag and see if it comes out wet, because he's going to be happy if he gets like enough sherbet attached to that finger. It's going to be like very tasty indeed. You're not always going to get the sherbet on your finger, but you know, eventually you do, and that's the kind of value he needs to take out a player like mine, is like get this like high value harassment early on. And look at this though, Mine's just so good at shutting this down. This like little minefield set up on the perimeter of the turrets and shuffling back his units quite efficiently with the Scarab damage and reducing that effectiveness too. But nice little pocket here for the Reaver to sit in, trying to target down 3 of the supply depots at the same time with the Scarab splash damage, trying to really go for that. Is him. Oh, he does get it as well. Quick repair from Mine, going to stop the 3rd one from going down, but 2 supply depots falling, saying.
Oof, that was some spicy Reaver play there. I mean, it's not amazing. It's not like killing, you know, 5, 6 SCVs, but hey, stopping the macro and production here for Mine for quite some time by just simply killing off a few supply depots is very, very nice. This is, yeah, slowing down Mine by quite a lot. Look, he's still supply blocked here. He's not able to produce anything off these factories. Why is he getting that damage? And he's got the 3rd base up here. Hasn't taken any damage from these vultures. They were just hitting that pylon for a little bit, but YSC's cleared them out. He's feeling really good right now.
Yeah, Mine basically tried to compensate by immediately going straight into 4th Fact. As a result of that, not being able to produce those tanks meant he had a lot more resources available to just throw down additional factories early on. So now he has the window to maybe be a little bit aggressive and maybe punish some of this greed from YSC having these factories online earlier on, while also taking his own 3rd base. So knowing Mine, I doubt he's going to do anything too crazy though. I feel like we'll see if you vulture raiding parties and what have you, but I really feel like Mine's going to be very slow, methodical, take this 3rd base and eventually build up a big army, big upgrade advantage, and then finally go for this big push across the map, take the middle, and use that as a follow-up to his assault on YSC, and then contain him more methodically that way rather than going for an earlier push here to try and punish this greed.
Mind, yeah, taking that 3rd base pretty quickly here at 8 minutes 50. That's one of the faster 3rd bases that Terran can possibly take. And he's got the tanks on high ground here with the turret. I think he's going to be feeling very comfortable with this 3rd base out this soon. And YSC not yet taking a 4th. He's got control of the bottom right as well. There's a starport. We'll be getting into his upgrades here, and that up mech is coming from Mind. I think we're definitely going to see Mind hit that push that we were talking about earlier, where this 3rd base comes online. He's going to get that factory explosion and push out towards the middle while taking that, pushing over towards YSC side of the map. I love it. I think that Mind is playing his game right now, and it's up to YSC to do something about it. What is he going to pull out here? How's he going to change this up? How's he going to change the game state here so he can actually take control over Mind? It's going to be tough.
Yeah, well, it's going to be tough saying. Not only that, but he's kind of playing on curve right now. He's not really doing anything unorthodox. He's taking this 4th base at 10 minutes, which is very typical for a Protoss player. So not even being that greedy anymore is YSC. So it seems like maybe that's a sign of confidence from him, though. Maybe he feels like he can kind of like cope with Mind in the mid to late game phase. I'm not sure if that's confidence or cockiness, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he might be overestimating his skill. I'm surprised we didn't see YSC with these 2 Reavers on top of the 3rd base. That high ground here on Retro is so annoying to try and take as the Terran player. If you've got Reavers and Dragoons up there, it's nearly impossible, but he didn't do anything to delay that. And Mind gets it kind of for free here. He's just feeling very, very nice. I tell you, when you get your third base, like pre 9 minutes, as the Terran player, it is insane how many units you can pop out and how good you're going to be feeling going into the mid game. Your push is going to be much faster. You've got that third gas online as well. I mean, it's one thing if you're taking a third base and it's just a mineral only base, but if you're taking a third this quickly and it's a gas base as well, my goodness, the amount of tanks you can pop out is kind of insane. He should actually get into a third machine shop here to pump out those tanks, actually.
Yeah, not only getting those huge tank counts out, but also being able to explode your factory count earlier on. Here comes the little poor man recall into the main base, though. 3 speed shuttles just diving straight in. There's only 1 siege tank set up here. Going to be unloading a big stream of Zealots before the Reavers finally get on top of that tank and nuke that down with a couple of Scarab shots, turning their fire onto the turret now, as most of the shuttles have started to be cleaned up by those turrets. But now there's no more turrets left in the main base, so with a good juggle on these shuttles and Reavers, can do a lot more damage in this main base to Mine and really frustrate him going forward. And so far doing a great job is YSC of doing just that. Needs to skip with the Reaver, doesn't quite get it though, and then one Reaver goes down soon.
Yeah, one Reaver going down here. It was very nice that he was able to keep this shuttle alive, but yeah, he's gonna lose the Reaver now. Unfortunate stuff there for YSC. He did some decent damage, but he's taking a big drop here in the bottom right. This is very, very annoying for YSC right now. He has to bring all his Dragoons up here. He's even going to run into mines as well, which is super annoying. Does he have an observer in the area? Looks like not. He's just going to sacrifice Dragoons here to try and... Ooh! He almost took another big shot there. Kind of saving himself at the last minute. He will be able to clear this out, but that was a big annoyance for YSC. I think this game is very, very even in terms of the amount of damage that either player did during that fight. I think maybe just slightly more for YSC, but because of that earlier third base for Mind, I really feel like this is a very even game at this point.
Yeah, it is. It is fairly even. And we do see the Templar starting to come out from YSC as well, so we will have a lot more splash damage available to us as the Protoss player here, so we can have some hope left in the chamber going forward and still feel the confidence surging forward with these Zealot Goon armies, as long as there's some storms waiting in the wings to either eviscerate their mineral lines and reduce the economy of the Terran player, which is basically the ideal situation, or to just use them as a way of cutting through the Terran metal armor with that true damage as a way of dealing with the big frontal assaults that you're forced into as Protoss, which you don't really want to have to take. You kind of want to skirmish with the Terran and kind of like force them to kind of move around the map a lot and not really engage them head on. But when you do have to engage them head on, you do kind of need these like storm spells to even have a chance at winning those fights.
Yeah, the addition of that splash damage makes such a big difference. Looks like quite a few Goliaths have been made here, so Mind really identifying that this is a shuttle heavy build that he's going up against. Here comes some storms. He's gonna land a big storm on all these SCVs. Wow, massive damage there. I'd love to see the kill count. 8 kills, pretty decent there, massacring a lot of those SCVs, but I think Mind is still gonna be all right eating that damage. As long as he's got enough to saturate these 3 bases, I think he's gonna be fine pushing forward here. And now we don't have that storm for YSC to actually fight this massive army, so maybe it's time for Mind to move forward here.
Well, Mind may feel the urge to pull the trigger on that, and a lot of the amateur Terran players might actually pull the trigger on that, but I think it's actually the wrong call in this moment. I think he wants to wait a few more seconds for a few more rounds of units, shuffle down, and like slowly leapfrog out from the left-hand side, because he understands that there's a big wide angle here for the Zealot Goon army to get a pretty cost-efficient trade on him, so he'd probably be wise enough to wait until he's like 190 or so supply before he even dares to start to move out. I think Mind's an experienced enough player that he realizes that now is not the time to strike.
He's gonna slowly move forward here. As you said, 190 supply has just been reached. Mind, with that big old mech army, gonna slowly creep forward here. He doesn't have another command center that I can see just yet to take that middle, but you can bet he's gonna try and move towards that position, try to take that base. Okay, there's that command center that's gonna float out towards the middle of the map. Zealots here eating some big mine damage. We may have some storms now available. He's going up for this attack again. Okay, why is he just going to trade for more SCVs here right now? Gonna splash down a ton of these SCVs. Storms dealing some good damage, but not the critical hits that he was expecting or hoping for. 4 kills, not going to, you know, cripple the economy here for mine. Gonna slow him down a little bit, but again, we don't have that splash. Now at 200 supply, do you think he's ready to move out? Since there's no splash here for YSC.
Yeah, I think now is the time to pull the trigger. We're maxed out. We've got some money in the bank to keep the maxed out going. We've got enough energy on this science vessel. We've killed enough of these observers as well. Like, everything's going well for us right now. There's not enough storm available to the Protoss player to engage us head on. So as long as we can just slowly creep out onto this huge open field in the center, we're probably looking pretty good in this game here. And mine is very well aware of that game state. Look at this, just crushing a huge storm on top of those siege tanks, doing so much damage. You need to be careful about that. But so far, I don't feel like...
Okay, sorry. I was just going to say, I thought that he wasn't going to get that storm, but he got at the very last possible second. Big damage there for YSC, and he's going to pull the trigger. Here we go. All the zealots coming forward here. A couple of D-Matrix at the front are going to be clutch. Big storm here, though. Should be going down. Oh, massive storm on a ton of these tanks. Zealots are running forward here. We're actually out of vultures here. Zealots are running low in number as well, though, so he will have to pull back. That was really close to a rout there for YSC. He almost overwhelmed that army. If he had a few more zealots left over, he could have crushed that. But Mind holds strong here. He's going to continue to push forward, dropping down to 124 supply. A pretty even fight overall, and he's going to take the top right. He's expanding all over the place. I love this drop here in the top right to be able to take this base. I think it's an amazing idea here for Mind as he floats towards the middle. He's going to double expand here. This is crazy.
Oh, it's so wise by him as well. He's mined out in the main. The natural's about to become mined out. If he can get both of these bases at the same time, his economy more or less stays intact and his production just explodes. And he's going to have so many units flooding across the map, and he needs to do that. YSC does have 5 base worth of economy, only just starting to become mined out in his main base now himself, but does have the production required to still overpower these Terran positions. So mine still needs to be a little bit careful here. But now look at YSC trying to snake around the left-hand side of the map, which is still pretty exposed and open. There's nothing covering this flank, so right now Mine kind of scrambling a little bit, trying to shuffle his tanks over to get in a position to deal with this. There's a little bit of pocket here for YSC to set up, but he needs to be careful. There's not much space beyond this threshold before he comes under siege fire, so he needs to be careful and like just use this as a way of keeping the siege tanks pinned back for some time while he maybe comes in and swings around the other side and tries to get some storms off in the center and maybe overwhelm the siege tank positions there. I'm not even sure he knows about this base in the top right, nor will he for quite some time.
That's what I was about to say as well. I don't think that YSC is aware of this. He's going to try and take center right. There's a couple of vultures over there, and he did see that there was a tank on high ground over there, but you know, that is a move that Terran players are known to do, is just take a siege tank and a couple of vultures and just hold a position over in that area without actually taking that base. But he's taking that base up there and he's expanding like crazy. Coming through the middle now, trying to drop on top of this. Great target fire here from Mine, but massive storms on these tanks. Gonna rip these units apart. He's also gonna kill a ton of SCVs here as well, utilizing big storms on these tanks and SCVs to crush this position. Mine gonna have to fall back, man. He does not have a lot of mining up in the top right, actually. Okay, he's finally transferred a bunch of workers up there, so he will get that mining going. I think that YSC might be kind of unaware of his position, though, not knowing that there's a base up here that's mining. He might think that he's in a better spot than he is, but he should really get some drops together and head up to that top right. If he knew about it, it's an easy kill. But Mine here getting away with murder by taking that base and not getting punished for it.
Yeah, well, he's kind of playing how he would usually if he didn't have this base as a ninja. So he's really just disguising this ninja expansion by the way he's playing. He's playing as if he would usually play without it. So it's really confusing YSC. And YSC, I can't really fault him. He's playing more or less how I would assume he would play, given the current game state. And I have more information than he does. So it's kind of frustrating for him, I imagine, but he should be able to overrun this position eventually if he's clever enough. He's just losing too many of these high tempos, these like beautiful maneuvers from Mine, just swooping in and like taking out the critical gas units of YSC's army and like basically making it so there's no real timing for him to come in here and open up this position again for assault without risking losing his entire infantry. So I feel like right now Mind is kind of like putting YSC into a bit of a checkmate scenario, but that's only temporary. I feel like Mine can still lose this game very quickly from here.
Yeah, he's a lot lower on the Goliath count, so these shuttles should be more effective in this next fight. We're completely maxed out and we're going for it. There is a good bank here for YC, so should be able to max out again very quickly, dropping a bunch of Zealots on this back line here, but most of his initial shuttles were actually picked off here, and he's out of Zealots, so he will have to back off. That was a great trade for Mind, actually. Mind getting the better of that engagement. There's no Goliaths now left, so maybe YC with another, you know, quick 2 shuttles that pop out in this next round, maybe he can overwhelm this position. But man, it is so frustrating right now to see YSC not know about the space in the top right, Mind getting away with this mining. I mean, this is an easy kill in the top right. You know, you can see how much he was harassing the third base in the top center. If he knew about the base in the top right, he would be harassing the hell out of that as well.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that, saying. I really feel like Mind has done a great job of exploiting the fact that there's no like stasis ability from YSC here. We see like really taking advantage of having like these big citadel formations of tanks, just like in the big blocks set up behind the siege line, so that when the Protoss does come in, they just like shell down the entire army before they can really do anything. And the high templars can't even get in position to storm those big clumps of tanks. They're so far back anyway. So I think it's a really well thought out way of setting up to deal with these plays from YSC as well. And look at this, just losing so many of his units to Mines, not even storming the tank on the high ground. Nothing going well for YSC this game, Sen, as these small contingency of units get cleaned up. There's a big drop in the main base with these 4 speed shuttles, though. Some storm on drops on these SCVs, but not really actually finding the connections there. I feel like this is going still pretty good for Mind despite these continued efforts.
Oh, it looks like YSC lost a ton of units over on the center right, and now Mind actually going to push forward and maybe take out this base. I really feel like this comes down to that missed scout on the top right. Mind got away with that mining for so long. His army is just too big. He's 20 supply ahead. YSC falling apart here. He's got nothing to respond to this. He's going to lose all the probes in the center right, and with that, the hopes in this game are probably going to be thrown out the window. Really, Mind, like, look at his lack of defense in the top right. He's got nothing up there except for 1 tank on high ground. Any speed shuttle sent that direction would have killed, like, all the SCVs in that location, but YSC was too focused on the center of the map, and that was all by design. Mind outplaying YSC here, forcing his attention into the middle while getting away with that base, and now finally going to come through with some shuttles. There are some turrets now available, and these Zealots should be able to go to work, but just look at how much damage this is going to do. He can kill everything up here. Kill all the SCVs. He can kill the vultures here as well. Great storm there to get rid of those vultures. You're going to kill the SCVs here, force away this command center. And actually, Mind, he's not really going to be mining off of much if this command center goes down. He doesn't have any mining at his main or natural. His third base is just about to mine out. So this is actually a serious problem for Mind, even though this is so late. Maybe YSC can get something done with this. He still has enough to max out one last time. There's still some money down here in the bottom right. He doesn't have that center right anymore, but now this is becoming a kind of a scrappy game here. Well, I wonder who's going to win this one, actually. I thought Mind for sure, but now I'm not so certain.
Yeah, Mine's not really, like, you know, maintaining the kind of composure that, he might lose this CC to the Archon, and he does! The Archon was just 1 hit from dying to that Vulture as well. That's insanity. And but these shuttles are getting absolutely ripped apart in the center before finding any of their storms as well. Beautiful reaction from Mind in the center, at least. Not going to be able to allow any further damage to be dealt to him, but losing that command center in the top right is going to really slow down his production efforts. He is taking the natural expansion in the top right as well, so his SCVs will be back to work work soon. They're probably paid hourly, so they're enjoying it right now, but they'll be back hard at work soon enough and getting some more minerals in the kitty for Mine to keep churning out these units. Now, YC did lose his base at the 3 o'clock, so he's down to 2 base worth of economy and production for the time being, so it's actually still working really favorably for Mind, but Protoss can still be very scrappy and skirmish a Terran down with these storm drops and like small contingencies of units moving around the map and being as annoying as possible before finally coming into the big blow at the end to finish the Terran off. So still Mind at risk here.
Yeah, Mind, he's got to be careful. Look at how stacked up the tanks are on the left-hand side. If YSC comes in with a big drop or a big attack and drops kind of out of range of the Goliaths, or, you know, at the edge of the range of the Goliaths, and storms down those units, that could be a big win for YSC, but he's been really focused on just dropping on top of the army every time, which has not worked out very well for him in these past few engagements. It's really important to not, you know, send the shuttles right on top of the army when there's this many Goliaths. They get picked off too quickly. Dropping at the periphery and landing the storms is going to be the key to victory here for YSC. Let's see if he can make it happen. Stretching out now, Mind taking the top right. He's spread himself a little bit thin, though. Not as many tanks here in the middle. Maybe YSC can overrun this position. He's coming in. Mind bringing back his tanks, though. Gonna set up this tank line. It's a deep tank line here, but the storms are gonna be big. Landing big storms on these tanks, gonna take out a lot of those. That second storm, not quite as good. The Zealots are running out here. YSC diving on everything, but his supply dropping, plummeting right now to 87. Really, really brutal losses here for YSC. Still got the bank, but I think he's just about out of morale here. He's got, you know, he's hardly replenishing the supply at the moment. He spends that bank, but he's just barely at parity with the supply of the Terran now.
Yeah, I feel like YSC just broke his knuckles on the absolute wall of abs that Mind has got right now. He's been working out at the gym a lot, and he tried to take a big swipe at him with his paws, and instead just got his big monkey hands just completely broken in the process. So gonna have to go back into the jungle, lick his wounds, and hopefully come back for another second attempt at it. But really should be trying to secure this 3 o'clock maybe while also going for this. And I don't know, feel like I kind of agree with the way YSC's played. He's kind of done everything by the book. He tried to stretch Mind thin by going over to the 3 o'clock first, threatening that over there, forcing the tanks out of position, then swinging back around into the middle to go for the pincer maneuver while the tanks had to kind of rally. So I kind of get what he's going for here, but it's just not on the same caliber of Mind. He's just slightly behind the curve in both terms of production and the mind games and the execution here. And Mind's had such great anti-storm harassment this entire game that's kind of limited the damage that YSC's been able to deal to him.
And Mind really seems to know how to play against this style. The entire time he's been gunning down those shuttles as quickly as possible. He's been focus firing the Templar as well. It's been going incredibly well for him. Oh, dropping in the back here, getting a couple of tanks for his effort. YSC gonna come hit the front here once again, dropping some more storms here. Storms are going pretty well for him, but he's 20 supply down. He's not going to be able to break this position, and Mind is now fully mining in the top right-hand corner. He needed to actually break the middle right now, and in order to have any chance, he needed to take another base at the same time, and he just hasn't done either of those things. So I think YSC is just about at the end of the line here. He's still producing, he's still got some mining, but things are quickly drying up here. Bottom right natural is gone, and Mind is mining away happily in the top right. He's got plenty of money coming in. He's going to be able to dwarf the supply of YSC here shortly. Losing these last few Dragoons is probably going to be the tap out moment here for YSC. He's diving in with everything he's got, even trying to cast storms on these SCVs here. Mind not going to let it happen. He pulls away his SCVs just in time. Not that those are important at all. There's so much mining here in the top right. That middle base is almost mined out as well, but Mind just doing everything to keep himself in this lead, not giving YSC an inch here in this game.
Yeah, I feel like YSC, like, you know, he had his hands broken on Mind here, and instead resorted to trying to use his elbows, and he's broken those two now, and he's like, now he's going to try and headbutt him and use his shoulders. And, you know, I'm not sure what he's going to hit him with now, but maybe, like, you know, the bloodied nubs of his limbs after Mind's done with him.
I'll bite your legs off. It's the Black Knight
moment
from Monty Python. He's gonna try and bite his legs off, but I think Mind just gonna push him over. One last drop here. Trying to kill these tanks. Not able to do anything. That Mind connects massively on these Dragoons, clearing up the last vestiges of YSC's army, and he taps out. Mind takes another victory. Damn! 3-0 here for Light. Alright, up next we've got Toss Girl versus Anna. This should be a win for Team Queen. It's making me a little nervous that we're at 3-0 right now, but I think that we're gonna have Toss Girl bring things back. Start the comeback here for Team Queen, but you never know. Best of one. Anna might be able to take this one away. What do you think about this match here, Shun?
I feel like it's going to be a Toss Girl victory, and I feel like it's going to be a spectacular enough fashion that it might, you know, be just the wind in the sails that Team Queen needs to mount some kind of comeback here and like take the pressure off Zealot just a little bit. You know, let him like. I have a feeling like Queen's going to be just in the booth with Zealot right now, just wanting to like massage his shoulders and be like, just relax, you got this, okay? You've beaten this guy 1,000 times on ladder before. You got 50 bags of cheeses to pick from. Like, you got this, okay? Like, Queen sees the victory in sight. It's just a matter of these guys, Tosco, most important now, getting this little momentum shifted back in the other direction.
Yeah, for sure. Barracks as well has got to be feeling some pressure here, knowing that he's coming up next and that things are really on his shoulders. It's not match point yet, but things are looking dire here for Team Queen, and he should be massaging their shoulders after taking that loss to Killer. He's relegated to that role now because he wasn't able to take his own victory.
Oh, absolutely. Queen is like designated masseuse for the time being.
Yeah, no longer the team leader here. Just an assistant to these other players who are gonna be
team leader.
who are gonna be truly taking on the role of you know, winning this game or winning this series here. Second gateway on the way. Okay, interesting. Also, we're gonna get in here and see this immediately. And I mean, what are you thinking when you see a double gateway opener like this? It's just pure Dragoon pressure, right?
Right, yeah, when you see like 12-15 gate, you're pretty much just thinking, okay, well, you just want to put some pressure on. So yeah, as a Terran player,
early siege mode.
Yeah, you got to be a little bit more careful, and obviously you don't want to lose that first tank to that sort of. The thing with the early 2 gate is they have the goons out so early, so you got to be so much more careful with that initial tank. You can't just like come out and start taking shots at the goons like you would usually. You're playing so much more safer as a Terran player, just leapfrogging out to take your natural expansion more.
Right, taking it one step at a time, being very careful because you know that the natural is going to be a little slowed down here for Anna. She's had to spend that extra 150, plus she's going to be spending money on these Dragoons, so she's going to be slightly slower. Oh, what are we seeing here? Some cheese coming from Anna. She's going to drop a robotics over here, I think.
Yeah, there's too far away to be gateways, so I imagine that is going to be a robo follow-up, which is pretty cheesy, yeah, for sure.
Elevator into the main, or perhaps a Reaver. Either one is viable. The Toss Girl here sliding around the map with this SCV. She's trying to get some more information here because she's not sure what's coming from Anna. She's not going to be able to find the pylon out here on the map though, but she sees the probe. That is important information. She might have an idea now that there could be some antics out here on the map.
I think that should be enough of a tell. Seeing the probe come back in at that angle at that time, I would venture like 9 times out of 10, Tosco should be registering that as like an alarm bell going off in her head. I imagine so.
So what's the response going to be here for Toss Girl? She's going to pull some SCVs to make sure she has enough to repair here. Being careful with this first tank. I'd love to see her just park on high ground and shoot down Oh, she's actually going to poke out a little bit. I don't think I want to siege this tank in the front. Probably, you know, putting it up on high ground a little bit back from the edge would be the best play here, because diving on top of this would give Anna a huge benefit of, you know, going forward with this rush, with this cheese play. If you pick off that first tank, it makes this defense so much less robust.
Right, yeah. Tosco's aware of like the sort of 20-second window that she's got when it's 3 goons going up to 5. So now that like that window's ended, she's kind of retreated back from the front, trying to squeeze out any damage she could, knowing that there was only going to be 3 goons out at that particular time. So she's trying to min-max a little bit there. So I can't really fault her. She's trying to get every little juice out of the orange right now, squeezing that orange, ringing that orange, getting every last drop out. She needs that vitamin C, I guess.
She's not okay. She does have something in the main now, actually scouting the main, but I was afraid that maybe we were gonna see Dragoons get lifted up into that main and Tosca will be unaware of that. But now she's got something building down there, probably a supply depot or maybe a turret down at that corner. She's making the turret ring. She's got the tanks out here. I think Toss Girl could be okay here. She definitely has the defenses. I don't like this tank right at the edge, but you know, if she puts another turret near the command center here up in the main and puts a tank up there, I think she's like, there's almost no way for Anna to get damage here.
Right, but I think this is the cookie cutter response from Tosco. This is kind of like textbook middle of the road response where you get the early eBay, you just turret ring up, you got the siege expand, you just chill. And
oh,
then
there's a hole. There's a hole in this turret ring. Look, there's no turret on the right hand side.
Oh, okay, that changes everything.
Oh no, here we go.
Anyway. Oh no.
Reaver here gonna get a big shot on this tank. The tank in the natural is not sieged up either. Gonna lose that tank. Gonna lose this tank here as well. Oh my god, Anna, is she actually gonna do it here? She's killing so much right now. SCV defense at the natural, but this Reaver could get so many kills on these. Tank sieging up way at the back here. She needs a position to fight from. Looks like the Dragoon's gonna try and run up here, but oh, she does get just barely in range in time to hold this off. Good repair job on this siege tank, and she will be able to kill that Dragoon and the Zealot as well. So maybe Toss Girl can hold on here. This is a really tight hold, though. Gonna kill some of these SCVs now with the Reaver. Tank gonna siege up. Can she get the kill? No! Out of range!
Wow, this is like the definition of there's a way of making this work, and so far Tosco is doing a good job of that. Is trying to repair that bunker, just barely gonna kill that Reaver as well. 2 Dragoons going splat on the ramp as well. Has held Tosco ahead in supply, 43 to 32. Has she done it? This is crazy, crazy. She even Anna even blocked her own Zealot from being able to get surface area to attack the tank that was being surrounded by the SCVs as well. She had not blocked her own Zealot. Maybe had enough DPS to finish off killing that tank that was being repaired by 4 SCVs as well. So a big blunder from Anna blocking her own damage there. Oh, this is crazy situation, Zan.
This is such a tightrope that's being walked here by Anna, but I think that Toss Girl is walking it just a little bit more cautiously, a little bit more balance here from Toss Girl, who's now able to push back this Reaver. And a Nexus on the way, but this is so far behind. We did not lose the SCVs that would have balanced out this match, and Toss Girl about 20 supply ahead. She's looking like just a shoo-in for a victory here, but it was very, very close.
We're currently sitting at just under 20 supply lead is Tosca right now, which is kind of crazy at 8 minutes 20 saying. I mean, what more do you want as a Terran player? She's got everything going for a +1 on the way, 3rd factory going down, chilling on 2 base economy, while the Protoss player hasn't even finished their Nexus in the natural expansion right now. Everything is being so far an absolute exemplary performance for Tosca. I can't imagine she'd hope for anything more right now.
Yeah, I don't know what else she could hope for. She's got the Goliath here. Still that hole in the turret ring. It's kind of glaring at the moment, but Anna here, not going to be able to take advantage of that. Tank plus turret, an excellent defense against Reaver. Right there at the command center. So Anna gonna look for damage, but she actually needs kind of a ridiculous amount of damage now if she wants to be able to bring this one back. She needs like a massive Scarab to hit a huge amount of SCVs if she wants any chance in bringing this game back.
I think you're right, Sam. I think the response from Tosco should be tank Goliath as well and just push across the map and kill her. I don't think that Anna can stop that. I mean, the only risk that might make Tosco not want to attempt the tank Goliath push in this situation, though, is the fact that if Anna makes non-stop dragoons from these gateways in the main base, there is a comeback potential. So Tosco may be hesitant to go for a play like that, and may be much more slower and just want to like play this out into a very super late game and try and guarantee the win as much as possible. But there is a window here. If she wanted to, she could go tank Goliath and just shut down the Reaver usage with those Goliaths and just overrun the Protoss player early on.
She totally could, and she's got so many factories here. What do we have, like 2-3 gateways right now with about 6 factories on the side of Toss Girl, getting her engineering bay down once again. So I guess that's why she wasn't building more more turrets and completing that ring. She lost the engineering bay somewhere along the line, and Anna just kind of sitting back right now. She's trying to get some position here on top of this high ground, but I don't see a third base, man. No third base here. Sitting 2 base to 2 base against a Terran player, the quality of Toss Girl, you're just not going to be in a winning position, and she hasn't got that damage. What I was talking about earlier, like getting the massive scarab shot, that just hasn't happened. She hasn't even attempted it here, just realizing how buttoned up Toss Girl is right now that she wouldn't be able to get that damage, and instead saving the Reaver for later. But later is going to be worse for Anna here. As time goes on, the farther this game goes along, Toss Girl is going to be in a better and better position, and here she comes across the map. Maybe she is going to go for that push you were talking about earlier.
Well, Tosco thinks like she's got a good read on the situation right now, and she was quite confident she knew where all the units were on the map. And once you know what the piece on the board, you can kind of make a play. She does get to go for the Reavers with the tanks as well. Now can take this high ground ridge away from Anna, and Anna really does need this ridge to slow down the Terran advance. And now this has been lost. This is a positional win for Tosco. She can just come down, roll onto this rally point, and absolutely put Anna into a state of disarray. And she's in full panic mode now, trying to stabilize this position at any cost. But she's going to have to pay the price of their entire army and not really have much to show for it as Tosco just rolls on forward. This is the push that I wanted Tosco to go for. GG is called. Wow, 4-0 lead for Team Light. Tosco confident.
Well, actually, Toss Girl's on Team Queen, so finally bringing back one score on the board here. Team Queen starting that comeback. Toss Girl, the shoe-in here, the one that we can rely on to get that win on the board. Team Queen, can they continue that momentum to bring things back? I certainly hope so. We're going to find out here in our next game. All right, Barracks coming out next here versus Ruin, and unfortunately we are here on cross map. Barracks, my boy, I love Barracks. I think he is going to be a one of the greats in the future. He's an up-and-comer who I've focused on. I've featured on the channel a lot recently, and I think he's done really well in the Steam tournament, proving his prowess not just on the ladder but also in these high pressure situations. And there's a lot of pressure on the line right now. I think Barracks can do it, but this cross map on Tempest is rough. It's very, very rough, and it looks like Ruin will be going for possibly an extra first. No. Probe coming out here. He's going to go for Gateway on high ground, so maybe sending out a Zealot to start things off.
Well, I think that gives a little bit more win percentage towards Barracks here, not going for that Nexus first, so that's something. Yeah, I think you're spot on there with that assessment, saying furthermore, I'd like to add that I feel like this is the true test for Barracks now. He's not only in a high pressure situation, but he's also in his, like, you could argue, his worst matchup as well. So I would venture to say that if he can pull a win out here, I'm going to be having good feelings about him as well going forward, because he has kind of shown some rather exceptional gameplay as of late. I know, as you say, you've been hosting him on your channel quite a lot lately, and he has been performing much like Saxry, a much higher standard than his usual play. So it'll be nice to see that further forward. Nice little SCV block on this probe, not letting the probe get in as well. Look at this. This is like this is kind of like indicative. Oh, we're not quite getting the full block though. I was just about to say there was quite like back in the old day of Huas in the 400 APM SCV micro blocking the probes from ever getting into his main base and scouting is the kind of thing that I used to see back in the day, and it was nice to see that kind of that idea come out from Barracks, but not quite able to get the full execution on that, and does let the probe get in. But I do like that Barracks' thought process on going for that to begin with.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to get a moving shot going here with the SCV, and it seemed like he was trying to get that done, but he does push away this probe without too much disruption, and sending out that early of a probe, you do want to get some disruption going here. So, you know, Barracks able to mitigate that, able to push this probe away and really lower its HP as well. Is a pretty good situation for him. He's going to have this one Marine out here, and that's enough to deny any further scouting. Rune here just kind of messing around with this SCV. We don't have a scout for Barracks yet. He has no idea where Ruin is on the map. He has no idea he's in cross spawn. He doesn't know what build he's up against here. So a lot of question marks on the field for Barracks at the moment.
I'm super impressed by the way Barracks is approaching the game. I don't think it's necessarily the right way of playing the game in the sense of what's optimal. But the way he's playing the game is he's absolutely stressing himself to the absolute limit. Like he manually pathed the SCV at a diagonal angle on the hex grids to catch up to the probe that was drilling through the egg. And then he like manually move commanded to moving shot onto the probe to squeeze in some extra damage. Like he doesn't need to do all these extra actions, but it's the kind of thing you want to do if you like test your limits as a player, like stress yourself to the absolute maximum, so that while you're doing your macro, you're also like forcing yourself to task switch between these like high micro skirmishes mid build order, so that you're forcing yourself to like perform at the highest level possible. And that is the way you want to play if you want to develop yourself as a player. So watching Barracks play like this, I'm kind of thinking this guy really does want to like improve himself as a player and like kind of up himself in the rankings a little bit here.
Yeah, he's giving himself every possible opportunity to get damage. And now he's going to get in here and see the Dragoon here on the high ground. He doesn't know for certain that it wasn't a Nexus first at this point. We've got just one Dragoon. That's all that's been revealed. But, you know, he knows at least where Ruin is at this point, if not anything about the build. Ruin gets in, kind of sees the command center at least, so he knows that he's not being two-facted right now, which is going to be a bit of a relief, knowing that he can kind of sit back here and play his game. Double gateway into robotics facility. Second gas coming down here as well for Ruin. So I think Ruin's going to be feeling fine, but yeah, I definitely agree with what you said about Barracks earlier. He has been pushing himself very, very hard, and I love to see it. I love to see these players grow and become champions, and I think that Barracks has that in him.
Well, just seeing the way he was executing his units makes me think that that's where his mind's at. Like, I kind of feel the heart in his play. You know what I mean? Like, I can see the mindset of, like, I don't just want to win, I want to be the best.
And we'll see if he can make it there. I'm going to be watching Barracks very closely in the future and checking out more of his games on the channel. So if you're just a KCM viewer, definitely go check out some of those replays as well. A lot of fun games from Barracks, and we'll see what Ruin can bring out here. I know Ruin has been upping his play as well, so you know, Ruin should be giving Barracks a real run for his money. And yeah, I've watched him a lot on the channel. Not nearly as much as Barracks, but he is a player that is on my radar, and he's on Light's radar as well. That's why I picked him up, and he's done great work in this team tournament. Able to take down players that are on paper superior, but able to take them down nonetheless. And here comes the scan. He's going to see that it is indeed a Reaver, and Barracks should be able to prepare for this appropriately. He's already got the armory down here. I think it's going to be a Goliath defense. What do you think?
I imagine so. And one thing I'd like to point out, though, is it's very obvious to notice that Ruin's on Light's team just by how good the anti-drop defense is in Ruin's base right now. Like, like anyone on Light's team is going to have exceptionally good anti-drop play. It's like one of the things, like back in the day, you'd have like everyone on Light's team would just have their Dragoons just chilling in the main base, so they would never lose to drop play against the other Terrans. But all the other Protoss players never really practiced against it as much, so when they played against Light, they still just get shredded by it, right?
Right, Light, I'm sure he's been giving Ruin plenty of lessons, you know, practicing with him leading up to these games. So Light should be able to kind of map out what Barracks' plan is and the way that he plays, and give, you know, Ruin a download on, you know, what he should do to take down Barracks. He knows that he's very aggressive. He knows that Barracks is, you know, kind of an early game, mid-game player. And that is a good call to have that drop defense early against a player like Barracks, but it's not going to be necessary here. He is going to pull away the Dragoons. Now seeing that there is no starport, no need to keep those Dragoons in the main. He is going to get into the back here and see, oh, maybe no, he's not going to see that starport way in the back. It's not finished yet though, so there is still no threat of that drop play coming in.
Yeah, you won't be seeing any drops for the time being, but see, one thing I would like to note is that Ruin is kind of a very talented individual. Like I wouldn't necessarily say he's like the best Protoss of all time or anything, but he certainly has like a certain air about him, like almost gravitas, if you will. And I feel like Barracks is the kind of person to really respect that, and I think that that's why we're seeing Barracks play the way he's playing right now, is he realizes, okay, it's cross map, I can't quite be as aggressive as I want to, but he also identifies that it's Ruin and he's on Light's team, so he understands that there's going to be a lot of things that he's going to be prepared for. So he's not going to take those unnecessary risks. He's instead going to try and be very slow and methodical about it. He wants to defend the second gas at all costs. And it looks like Ruin wants to challenge that. Comes in with the Reaver to drop down onto the... Could delay the armory, but isn't going to go for that shot. Instead, trying to get the shot on the tank, but duds on the gas. Really worst case scenario for Ruin there. Taking a lot of shield damage to that shuttle and not really getting any connections as well for his efforts. So far, so good for Barracks.
Ruin going to go for triple Stargate carrier here. It's going to be up to Barracks to find out about this as soon as possible. You know, it's surprising to me to see him go for this when it's been a Goliath defense, right? Like, we haven't invested in turrets. We've invested in a ton of Goliaths. We already have range done, I think, for these Goliaths, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe that's range finishing up right now. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Barracks won't scan there, and he won't send a dropship down on that angle for quite some time because he's going to be pumping vessels. So this is actually a great maneuver from Ruin because this won't get scouted for ages. I think Barracks is in trouble.
Oh,
He scans it. Oh, he's a genius. He's improved as a player. He's an absolute G. I'm so impressed by Barracks right now.
Well, I mean, this is absolute best case scenario right now for Barracks, right? He's not prepared to take a third base. He's got the factories already nearly complete. Well, he's okay. There's that third base. Never mind. He does have the third base on the way. He's gonna push out, take this third as he shoves forward. I would say probably taking it right where these Reavers are right now, taking that third, and he's got all the upgrades ready. He's gonna hit this big 2-1 timing attack, and it is gonna be brutal for Ruin to try and hold on against. He's gonna have to rely heavily on these Reavers to slow things down. The positioning here is a little bit in his favor, right? He is cross map, so it's gonna take a long time for the army to move across the map here for Barracks, but everything else, basically everything else, is in Barracks' favor. He knows about this. He's got the Goliaths going. He's got the factories up. He's gonna hit this timing. It's gonna be rough for Ruin.
Yeah, basically, once you see the fleet beacon and you've got the timing down on how long that's going to be coming online, you know you've got this sort of like 3-minute window to set up, and that's what we see here. He's just going to spend like 2 or so minutes gearing up to move out. This is the 2-minute mark, and now he's going to start to push out, and he's got 1 minute to try and get across the map and do as much damage as possible and push Ruin to his absolute limits right now and slowing him down. And once he gets set up on the other side of the map, there'll only barely be a couple of carriers coming out with some interceptors, and not enough to fight off the initial threat from the Terran as more Goliaths stream across the map to kind of finish off the Protoss player before he can get going, because he hasn't going to get that critical mass of carriers. As we can see, he's going to have like 2 to 3 carriers initially. He isn't going to have that critical mass of like 4 to 6 carriers that he needs early on to fight off this threat. So right now, Barracks could go for a kind of kill move, but it looks like instead he wants to just kind of set up defensively. I'm not sure if this is going to work out for him, because Ruin right now is going to take initiative and swing around the back and kind of threaten a counterattack, and could cut off reinforcements and skirmish down Barracks if he's not careful.
Yeah, I think Barracks is actually doing this right. If he was pushing across the map right now and the counterattack came in, he would be in a lot of trouble. He's just waiting to set this up, setting up this third, you know, getting mines out, getting a position, figuring out where the army of Ruin is, and once he's, you know, stacked up here, once he's got the defenses at this third and he's figured out where the army is, that's when he can get everything together and really push this push the issue here. It's not upgrading any further. He's gonna hit this 2-1 timing attack, and he's gonna make it count, because this is everything here. He has to make this work right now.
Yeah.
and Ruin, he has to stop this push, and he has to get those carries. I just got to buy that time. So the counterattacks are going to be huge, but this push is going to be very, very scary for Barracks.
Yeah, you're right, sir, and you're absolutely right. That's actually really good news for Barracks that he's kind of figured that out, because if he did try and move across the map, it's just far too open and easily exploitable for Ruin to counterattack that and punish him. So it does make sense that he's kind of like doing this most optimal route of like ensuring a highest win percentage possible and not letting anything go wrong by moving out too early. It does give a little bit of breathing room to Ruin, though. We're going to go up to 4 carriers initially, and then he's going to start to move out and wait for additional carriers to arrive later on. And with that power spike of the initial 4 carriers, can start to fight this Terran army head-on and skirmish down. But it looks like Barracks is prepared for that eventuality, and has quite a lot of Goliaths already made. So he's going to try and maybe jostle for a little bit of position here. We see a bit of fluidity from the armies now as they move north and south, respectively. Eventually going to be trying to come down for this high ground peninsula, which is so important to control in the center of the map. And whoever basically controls this is going to be able to dictate the flow of the game. And so far, it looks like Barracks is being very cautious about taking it, because he knows that Ruin can swing around to the north here.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about Barracks now, because we do have these carriers out. That carrier number is going to continue to grow as time goes on. Ooh, it's going to get this Science Vessel. No, Science Vessel does survive. Okay, that was a decent trade. Here, the initial fight between Ruin and Barracks, these carrier number is actually getting pretty high now. 6 carriers on the field, and this army's going around the back. Okay, Barracks is going to go for it. He's going out into the middle. He's going to start to head towards the natural. No, he's actually following the army, maybe? This is a scary moment right now. He has to do this perfectly. Otherwise, Ruin will just tear him apart. And yeah, he's moving through the middle. Most of his armies, though, is just kind of sitting in the middle. He's pushing up with the Goliaths. The tanks are in the middle here with no Goliath support. What is going on? Barracks has lost a hotkey here. He's lost the script. He's losing tanks in the middle. His vultures here not defending well. His Goliaths are coming up to support, but this is like 4, 5, 6 tanks that are going to go down before he can get into position. That is a big loss. Barracks making a mistake, but he's actually hitting this base over here at the bottom center at the same time, pushing towards that natural. He's hitting at all places at the same time, and he's stopped this counterattack. There's no counterattack from Ruin right now. He might be able to get down here, though, and deal with these Goliaths with his ground force. However, while this chaos is going on, Barracks trying to make this really, really scrappy here, but this is actually in Ruin's favor. The scrappier it gets, the harder it is to defend the carriers, or to defend this attack. Oh, he gets the Reaver. Okay, gets the Reaver as well, and he's pushing towards the natural. This is getting like, this is getting kind of weird here, Shin. What's gonna happen in this game now?
Well, we got 9 carriers out on the field right now, 7 on the east, but these other 2 are getting isolated and getting targeted down. 1 might fall to these carriers. The Terran boosted missiles does manage to take that out. The other 7 carriers on the eastern flank starting to move up to that position instead of trying to rejoin with their brethren and trying to put a little bit of counter threat here. Meanwhile, Barracks just wants to roll all the way in to the main base of Ruin. His fingers dancing across the keyboard like a spider right now, and so much in fact that he was sending control groups to the wrong locations earlier. We had like Goliaths fighting goons while tanks and vultures were staring at carriers. Not quite sure what was going on there. I'm sure Barracks had something in his mind that kind of made sense, but didn't quite become an eventuality. Instead, though, see the carriers just coming into the 3rd base location, starting to rip apart the mineral line there. There is a few Goliaths here to try and fend off those carriers, but not ready enough to manage to do so. So he probably will be able to take out this position here, but Barracks is deciding to just go into full retreat mode here. His entire army is just coming back across the map right now to defend this. I don't think he wants to lose this 3rd base at any cost, so he's coming in with all of his units, all hands on deck right now to try and save this 3rd base. He wants to try and cut off these Protoss units as much as he can. Even the SCV's coming back to repair now. He really doesn't want to lose the CC.
Well, maybe he can trap these carriers here. There's not a whole lot of space on that left side, but no, he doesn't come around from the high ground to catch onto these carriers, and carriers are getting massive value right now. Although Ruin is dropping supply down to 141, still Barracks a little bit lower on that. He did a good job with the push. He killed 1 base, but I don't know if that's enough. Ruin's still got 2 more bases online and mining right now. He can absolutely still produce carriers, and he can keep that interceptor count going up. Barracks on the aggressive here, gonna try and hit 6 o'clock. Ruin kind of bouncing around. He's actually got his carriers way over on the left-hand side. That's not where they should be right now. They should be ready for a counterattack or to defend the base, and they're not ready for either. Barracks can get this base possibly for free, while Ruin is sending his army across the map. This is actually devastating for Ruin right now. Can he actually kill this base? I think he should be able to kill that. But losing the base over here is it's painful, very, very painful. And Barracks does have rallies here to work with. Maybe he can hold on to this position.
Yeah, and one thing that's to note is that even though on paper Ruin's technically winning right now, three of these carriers are dangerously loaded dying, so if just a few lucky hits or good target firing, these carriers will start to fall very quickly. And now they're getting surrounded from both sides as the retreating army of Barracks now starting to meet up with this northern force and trying to cut off these carriers, but it's too many splash damage coming out from these scarabs to prevent these gliders getting into good position on these carriers. So far the carriers have kind of gotten away with murder and sharking around. They're going to escape with their lives. So many of them dangerously low on HP, but still cheating death for the time being. Going to go to the 3 o'clock location and take out that command center there as well. So far, Ruin kind of making short work of Barracks here.
Yeah, he's taking out Barracks, but Goliath here could get some big kills. Oh, he's not paying attention. Oh, go after the carrier. He's got to go for the low HP carriers. There's so many low HP carriers in this group. He gets one, but there's still like 2, 3 more that are very, very low on that health. Still mining here. Barracks has that third base, and he's about to kill bottom right. So no mining right now for Ruin as that Nexus goes down in the bottom right. He's long distance mining from that base, and now it's actually possible for Barracks to just kill off interceptors over and over again and eventually wear down these carriers. But this force is very, very powerful. There's a lot of zealots here. Great mine connection. Oh, that mine actually did a lot of damage to the Goliaths as well. He's just barely holding on right now. He's got to keep fighting down these carriers, these interceptors, and the interceptors going to work on these Goliaths. This is a very tense situation right now for Barracks. He's just barely hanging on right now. He has to keep this base alive. He's also mined out, and he's going to lose this position. Reaver coming in here, going to clean up the majority of these SCVs. He's got to float away and escape. He's not going to be able to. This command center falls. Oh, he saves it. Hold on. Hold on. He's still alive here. Is that 0 minerals? 0 minerals right now for Barracks. They were so close. Okay, he does get that command center. That was insanity, though.
Yeah, absolute insanity. He is starting to mine in his natural expansion now, is Ruin as well. So a nice trickle of minerals going to supplement a few of those interceptors. Barracks in hot pursuit of those carriers, wants to take out those low HP ones. So far not able to do so, but instead he's just going to rip apart those interceptors, like you say. There's going to be a lot of deficit of minerals right now. Oh, these big mine connections are actually a big deal right now. 3 Dragoons going down for free is a huge deal. These other 2 Dragoons softened up as well. That makes them much less potent in dealing with these Goliaths, so those Goliaths have a lot more value in fighting these carriers in the open field right now. So that gives a little bit of life in the sails of Barracks right now to surge on forward and hopefully maybe construct some oars to keep paddling, to find some more knots of speed to kind of come back into this game and claw his way back into a victory after this kind of really weird, shaky situation from both sides and being put into a base tradey situation that sometimes does happen in cross-map TVP.
Yeah, this is one of the wildest TVPs we've seen in the team KCM. This has been ridiculous. He's getting in here. He's getting some kills on some probes as well. Probe kills. While he's long distance mining, he doesn't even have enough for a Nexus right now, and he's going to be losing another probe there. That's so brutal for Ruin. Barracks, I think he might just barely be able to do it. He's at 94 supply. He's going to be fighting carriers here, which have interceptors right now, but they can't really afford to keep building those interceptors. He's out of money. He's got nothing in the natural. The last mineral is being mined away right now, and he's long distance mining over here. He's got 300 in the bank, but those are all going to go into interceptors very, very quickly here as the engagement starts. What is Ruin going to do? How is he going to take this fight? He's going to fly in and just start fighting with the Goliaths. I think this is in Barracks' favor. He's just going to keep gunning down the interceptors over and over again, and there goes all the money. Ruin has spent it all on interceptors, and still plenty of Goliaths left here to fight.
Wow, I think Barracks has done it. He's taken the fangs out of the Basilisk now. This is just kind of like a toothless beast roaming the map right now, unable to produce the teeth required to finish the job. Is still trying to gum away at these Goliaths, still able to do something with some of these baby teeth coming in right now. But you know, all these carriers are so low on HP that one EMP would spell disaster right now. And the Vultures intercepting more and more probes as well down on the south side of the map, so reducing the economy further. Even a Marine coming down here with 12 HP to join the party, saving Private Ryan. That guy finding his way all across to the beach of Normandy and beyond. That guy's a hero right now. I'm kind of impressed that this Marine's still in this game.
Oh, I think he's got another kill as well. Killing off the final probes here. Ruin's got 10 minerals to his name and half the supply of Barracks. He's done it. Barracks has won this game, and he's brought Team Queen a little bit more hope in this series. GG. Ruin taps out. What a game here. What an absolute insane TVP.
Wow, dude. Barracks is so good. Barracks is so good, Sam.
Gets the clapper. God damn, Barracks. You legend. If I could be any more excited about Barracks, that would be the game that gets me there. Damn. God damn.
God damn, Sam.
Ooh, okay. Zealot versus Light is next, and I got a little bit hype in that last one. God. Barracks just giving us such an exciting game, and I think that if Zealot managed to take out Light here, Shun's head might explode. There's so much excitement.
Yeah, right? The caster bias will just be through the roof at that point, guys. There'll just be like, the professionalism will be out the window. We'll just be stripping off our t-shirts going, woo!
We're gonna write Zealot on our chest. Zealot and Barracks.
Yeah,
big letters. Oh, man. That would be wild. Well, Zealot definitely the underdog going into this fight, but maybe that's the way he likes it. No expectation here that he's supposed to win this game, so Light gonna come across the map. Oh god, an engineering bay at the front here. Interesting choice from Light. Blocking the natural. Trying to get in the head of Zealot early, I guess?
Yes, 100%. It's purely to throw off the calculation of Zealot, because Zealot's the kind of guy where he's got something planned for you, and any deviation from that could really frustrate the timings of what he wants to do. So anything like this to kind of throw a wrench in the works of Zealot here could completely disrupt his build order plan so much that he has to abandon it and completely rewrite history as he's playing.
Ooh, he's gonna pull 3 drones to kill this. Do you think this is the right decision, or is he like already falling apart here?
This is like him being like, I need to make this hatchery on time or I can't do my original plan. So this is like him in desperation mode now, yeah.
Oh, that's not good. Yeah, I thought he was just gonna wait for Lynx to pop out and kill this and be in a good spot, but instead he's like overreacting, I think, to this build here from Light, and what should just be like a, you know, not a problem at all, just like what was I gonna say? I don't know. It shouldn't really be a difficult thing to deal with here, but it's actually gonna cost Zealot quite a bit of minerals, and this has done its job. It's slowed him down, and he's even gonna block the hatchery now with the SCV. This is super annoying. Zealot really getting in the head of Light getting in the head of Zealot right now.
Yeah, and Zealot actually miscalculated as well. He didn't have minerals to build the hatchery when it was killed as well. So yeah, he definitely misplayed 100%. If he was going to pull drones, maybe only pull 2. But even then, it's still a bit of an overcommittal. I don't like it either way from Zealot, but I kind of get it. He's frustrated the build order too much of Zealot if he doesn't do it, because he needs to build this hatchery on time, or he's like lost out on too much lava production. So I get it. But at the same time, like, yeah, now Zealot's in a real bad spot against the caliber of player of Light. It's a worrying situation to be in.
Gas follow-up here for Light. Is he going to go 2-star port? Is that what we're going to see here?
Probably,
he's like, well, he's controlling this map completely, right? Like, I think that what we were talking about earlier, like, Zealot preparing for this match, probably Queen's been in his ear telling him, you've got this, rubbing his shoulders, helping him pick out his best cheesy build. And now, that build is just not going to come to fruition. And what you were saying earlier, it really hurts Zealot here, right? Because Zealot, he's like, I have to get this hatchery down to hit my build, and there's no way you're going to hit your build. There's no way, because you can't do your build now. Light's just not going to allow it. He's going to do a completely different build. He's going to go for, factories. Oh, he's going actually full on mech here, which is kind of crazy. Oh, good surround, actually. He's got the link speed. Trying to get this surround here on the Vulture. The Vulture, on paper, should be able to micro forever, but if Zealot could get that surround and kill this off, that would be huge. Oh, he's just about to get it. 2 kills on this. Looks like he will get that final hit. Oh, 1 more kill, and the Vulture gonna slip in here. Another kill. This is not going well at all.
Light is so good. Not only did he keep that Vulture long enough, but he also bought enough time to drag all those Lings out of position so that the other Vulture could get into the main base. And now Zealot's in a world of hurt. Losing that 1 drone is an absolute nightmare situation. Just any damage to Zealot now is critical. So Light killing just 1 drone is already bad enough. If he gets a single more drone, I don't know how Zealot's going to recover. He's even forcing more Lings out of Zealot right now. He's already done critical damage to Zealot. Pretty good surround from Zealot, but right now he's completely in the mind of Light. He does catch that with a pretty good surround. Yeah, Zealot's no slouch. He will catch you eventually, but Light so far showing a very good understanding of the game as well, and showing that he's on the same kind of level of mechanics as someone of Zealot's ilk as well. So Zealot kind of being put to task right now, and Light kind of shining a torch in his eyes and blinding him a little bit, and Zealot kind of stumbling around in the dark and trying to figure out what's even going on right now.
Yeah, it looks like he's kind of got his balance once again. Now that he's removed that Vulture from his base, he can start to get into that Mutalisk production, but everything's been slowed here. Those extra Lings really hurt, having to build those at that point in time. He wanted to build a full-on Mutalisk production, and he doesn't have a second gas up here. He's not going to build enough Mutas to actually overwhelm Light, so Light is in a perfect spot. He's got enough turrets. He's got those Goliaths out. He's going to have the range here very, very soon. He will be able to defend everything, and Zealot's gonna have to transition. He's gonna have to get a 3rd. He's gonna have to go into Hydra.
Yeah, no, he definitely has to transition. One thing that's interesting to note is that do you think that Light's gonna go 2nd armory early here and just go really heavy into grades and go early starport as well? I'm curious if he's gonna play more tech orientated or if he's gonna throw down more factories.
Well, I don't think he actually has to attack here, right? I think he just needs to stay defensive and wait for late game, because Zealot's gonna have to do something. He knows that he's in a bad spot. Maybe he goes like a lurker drop or something, try something crazy, try to break Light apart in some way, but it's gonna be something crazy. You have to know that as Light, and you have to realize that all you need to do is hold on here, get into tanks, get some vessels out, get double upgrades rolling, and just have all of the tools necessary to pull apart a player like Zealot, who's gone for an early tech play, who's trying to take you down. And once he's got all those tools, I don't think there's any chance for Zealot to take a win here. And he's hidden the Hydras a little bit, so he won't know that lurkers are coming. Maybe if he can kill enough turrets at the front while bringing the lurkers forward, he can deny the natural for a little bit of time and find himself a way back into this game.
Yeah, Light's going to be aware of this potential from Zealot, though. Zealot's the kind of guy to do these sort of multi-tiered cheeses where he's thinking to himself, what's my highest win percentage given the current game state? And he's aware of that lurker bust right now might be his highest potential of winning right now. And he's not too far wrong with that assessment. He's going to have a lot of Lings coming in to back up these lurkers as well. But I think Light's really prepared for this. I'm not sure it's going to be successful, but here we go. We're going to find out in a moment here soon.
It's going to be all up to the turrets here. Can he kill them off, or will the lurkers go down first? Running right up on top of this bunker. The bunker going to mess up the AI here a little bit, taking some of the targeting away from these Goliaths, and so many of these lurkers are going to go down right away. He's actually pushed everything back, so he's out of range of the turrets right now. He's going to force the lift at least, but this is small potatoes. This is nothing to fret about here. for Light. He is going to have a tank out here pretty soon. He doesn't have a scan or anything, but eventually he will get into a vessel and push this away. Just how far away from a vessel is he, though, at this point?
Yeah, he's probably going to be another minute or so at least for the time being. I don't think he's going to be able to easily get rid of these lurkers, but he will just start to mine. You can't just put a comsat in the face of the. I don't know what's going on in Light's mind right now that he did that, but never mind.
All right, comsat comes down. The scan follows up, and Light goes ahead and pushes everything back, and now he's going to be on the offensive, and this will force Zealot to build a ton of units at a time where he would love to be building drones. He's got this third base online. He's trying to get some hatches going so he can actually pop out enough Hydras to hold on, but he's going to be forced to build sunken colonies here to defend. There's nothing really else that he can do, and there's already tanks out, so this is a dead Zealot right now we're looking at. Light has completely controlled this game. He's played exactly as he wanted, and he's not allowed Zealot to do anything that he prepared. This is utter domination here. Unfortunately, Zealot not going to be able to win this one.
Yeah, unfortunately, Light's going to be pulling Zealot's card, punching a hole in it, burning the card, and mailing him the ashes, and then burning the house down that you mailed it to.
Yeah, apt description here as Light pushes through these first few sunken colonies. These were meant to buy that time so that Zealot could mount a reasonable defense with Hydras, but how the heck can you put together a defense here against this number of tanks and Goliaths? And it's not going to happen. GG. Zealot taps out, and Team Light takes their 4th victory here, putting them on match point as we go to the roulette wheel to find out which match will be replayed for the hopes and dreams here of Team Queen. I hope that they're gonna get a matchup that they can win. Let's go to the roulette wheel to find out. All right, we've got our bans. Team Light gonna ban the Toskro matchup, and Team Queen gonna ban Light out here. Makes sense to me, and we're gonna go to the roulette wheel now. The suspense is killing me, guys. We gotta find out who's gonna play next. Team Queen, 1 game away from being knocked out. They have to be nervous here. Every player on Team Queen's got to be hoping that it's not going to be their turn, that their number's not going to be called here, and they're going to have to perform. Maybe Queen, hoping that he's going to get a rematch here versus Killer, because I think he should have been able to win that match, and he should be feeling confident that he can probably take that away if he gets that, but everybody else here is like sweating, I think, that it might be their turn.
I think so, yeah.
Here we go. Time to spin the wheel and find out the fate. Oh, grit your teeth. Oh man. Gahiri versus JB. Oh god. We're going to be putting our hopes on JB, who went down to a Hydraless build in game number 1. Can she bring it back? Can she win this potentially final game here? That Queen's got to be sweating right now. Team Queen on the ropes here, and they're going to put all their hopes on JB. Let's see what she brings out to take down Gahiri here. Here we go. Potentially our final match here. I've had a lot of comments from you guys saying that you hate when this happens, and god damn it, you guys are right. This is rough. Having the final match here being down to these tier 2 ladies players, it is kind of a heartbreaker if it has to end like this. If JB manages to take this win and we get another game, that would be the optimal. If Gahiri wins, man, it's going to be disappointing, but it is what it is. Another gas first build here from JB. Going to be going for the exact same builds on either side. Are we going to see... Oh, actually, is she going to cancel this gas? I think she cancels here. Huh?
No.
What?
Oh, well, then... No. She's taking the gas. She would make it that early otherwise, right?
No, remember last time she took it and canceled to get an extra drone and then went for the hatch, but this time she's going to take the gas and hold it. This is interesting. Kahiri going for 9 pool. This is actually favors JB a little bit, right? Because
Yeah,
she went for the earlier overload. She's going to have more drones out. And she has a
And
slightly
more gas.
later pool, but she's got more gas. I think that I like JB's spot here.
I agree with you, Sam. Yeah, that's a good observation. I think, yeah, she's got slightly positional advantage over JB, over Kahiri as a result of that. I think the suits are a little bit. Lair's going to be starting now, I believe. No Lair? Oh, Paul's not finished yet, my bad.
Right, she's going to be potentially getting both at the same time, layer and speed. No layer here for Kahiri. Kahiri. Oh, both? Okay, never mind. Kahiri going speed. It's going to be up to JB to hold on the ramp here. She actually didn't save larva all the way to 3 larva, so she's only got 2 sets of lings popping out here, so it's going to be a tough hold, but it's definitely doable with the closer rally points here, as long as she fights on the ramp and then falls back in time. And Kahiri may not even take this fight. Wait, she is? Okay, she's not. Okay, she is, and this is bad. JB letting her lings fight here on the ramp without all of them being together. This is worst case scenario. A sunken colony gonna go up here. That's what she was paying attention to. Oh, she right-clicked a ling there, unfortunately. Didn't get very good surface area. Ling speed is done. Pure desperation mode here from JB. She tries to defend. These lings are gonna get tracked down here. Ling speed is done for Kahiri, but it's not done for JB. JB just needs to hold on. She's got the sunken finished. Pulling drones here to fight. One's gonna be targeted down. Nice pick there by Kahiri. Very tense moment here between JB and Kahiri right now.
Yeah, it's very tense. You're going to be throwing down the second hatchery to increase her production capabilities, but still hasn't enough money. Yeah, I don't get it, because she hasn't got enough money to throw down the Spire right now, and she's not going to be able to for quite some time. So maybe she wants to go for a Ling counterattack, but hasn't calculated the fact that there's a Spire on the way. So what are you going to do about that? I don't know quite what the thought process is there, but maybe she's got something in mind. I'm not sure what. Maybe she wants to build a Spire as a delayed thing and play more defensively and try and get a production advantage over Kahiri right now. Maybe it's all the rest. I'm not sure if this is the right choice. He has got a lot of gas banked up, so he wants to send more drones to mine the minerals and then try and compensate that way and then squeeze out the Spire just now. But it's a bit of an afterthought. It's pretty late, Sam.
It's very late, and she might be able to get a Scourge out in time to defend her drone line. But yeah, I think she's just going mass ling here, and she doesn't have speed. This is so confusing to me. She's gonna be able to push back Kahiri, but her position that was actually good, she had a decent position there at the early game, has been kind of thrown away here by going for this wonky second hatchery build and, you know, not saving larva, losing a drone. Everything has gone kind of wrong here for JB. She's got way less drones now. Her mineral income is pretty darn low. How could she even afford to use the second hatchery is my question.
She can't. You need 5 drones per hatchery per muta. So she needs 10 drones mining minerals to produce mutas non-stop off of 2 hatcheries, which she can't do. And she hasn't even got 9, so yeah, she's going to really struggle to produce. You'd be producing mostly lings. You can do non-stop lings with Scourge. So that's maybe what she will elect for, I don't know.
All right, well, I mean, that can be hard to hold on against if you're not, you know, at the very peak of play. If you're at a tier 2 level like this, maybe you can just pump Scourge and connect with the mutas and overwhelm with lings. That is a possibility. That's going to be the gambit here from JB, I guess, because she really can't produce mutas right now. There's, like, no way. She can't even get ling speed. She doesn't have ling speed right now, which is the really big problem right now. She's going to lose an Overlord as well. She did pop one out back at home, but that's going to supply block her here. Okay, ling speed does finish. She's going to come into the natural. She actually saves the Overlord because... Oh, wait, no. One Muta is going to be left to kill the Overlord, it looks like, and the rest are going to be pulled back here to deal with the lings. Can she kill all the drones here and actually make a fighting chance for herself here? She's not sending the Scourge. Scourge are sitting back at home right now. They should be over here chasing the Mutalisk away while the lings deal the damage, but they're just not. And JB still with the Scourge back at home, making a huge blunder here. Kahiri actually pulling very far ahead now.
Yeah, JB wasted so much precious seconds trying to chase down the Lings with her own Lings. Should have just ran straight into the main base and just ravaged the drone line right from the start and not given Kahiri any seconds to work with to get back over here with the Mutas and defend against that. And I kind of agree with her pulling the Scourge because you need... This might work because Kahiri might not have the best anti-Scourge micro here with the patrol shot shooting ahead of the Mutas to bounce back and like splash onto the Scourge while running away from them. So maybe these Scourge can find good connection. We're about to find out in a moment here. So far the Scourge are just able to get... What is going on right now?
What the heck?
What am I watching right now? What just happened? I feel like the biggest blunder of ZVZ history has just occurred. The Mutas were all just stacked doing nothing, ducks in a barrel, and the Scourge were just like, huh? Scooby Snack, didn't know what to do, like, and just all died. Wow, Zen.
Oh my god. I am just flabbergasted right now at what we're seeing here. It's like we're gonna have some Scourge come out and connect. There's still a couple of Mutas here. If she splits both of them, hits one with one, I think she can kill both the Mutas here. She does.
Yeah.
So all the Mutas are dead. But Kahiri's got this second base. She's mining. And I mean, this is one of the worst ZVZs I've ever seen in my life. I'm gonna be completely honest here.
If she doesn't waste those Scourge on those Mutas, she would have like more Scourge left over, and she could just send like 6 Scourge to the bottom right, kill those 3 Overlords, and then Kahiri just can't even do anything.
Yeah, and like, why are these Scourge sitting here now? Let's send these across the map. There's only a couple of Mutaless out. It's so hard to do anything with these Mutas. You can just sit over top of the eggs and just continue to kill over and over again. She's gonna get this one for sure. And now she should just park over the eggs. And what are you gonna do as Kahiri?
About 3 Mutas, you can't one-shot them, right? So,
no,
yeah.
you can't one-shot, and the chances of Kahiri being able to, successfully micro 2 Mutas against these Scourge is near 0. So looks like the Muta, oh wow, the Overlord doesn't die. The Overlord didn't die there, and these Mutas are eventually gonna get tracked down. It looks like there's the first connection. Second connection should be coming through shortly, and yeah, Kahiri really can't do anything about this. She's gonna have to slowly maneuver around and try to make her way back to her own main and save herself, but I just don't think that's gonna happen. Here's one Muta out on the field. That's actually gonna connect with these Mutas of Kahiri. Kahiri sending one Muta back. Looks like Scourge going everywhere. This one Muta's gonna be sent down to the bottom right to start killing Overlords. That's never gonna work because 2 Scourge can be sent down there eventually to deal with that. Another kill here. Oh my goodness, wow. This is really getting to be kind of ridiculous here at this point, and she's gonna lose this Muta. Oh my god, what is happening right now, Shun? My Zerg eyes are bleeding at this point.
What a ZVZ clown fiesta, it has to be said. This is like, you usually think of like the clowns of the Starcraft world being more of the Protoss Zerg, but right now Zerg is representing the clown world in full fashion right now, and they're doing a great job of it. It's entertaining to say the least. This Sunken's soaking up a lot of these Lings though, so doesn't it like JB's going to be able to do much on the ground, but the Scourge are still devastating the air right now, reducing those Mutas over and over again. Kahiri, though, for the time being, also going to be supply blocked, unable to produce any more units. So if more and more units can come across the map from JB, can maybe keep this lead going and keep the snowball rolling into a bigger and bigger snowman, and maybe after that, we can have a nice Christmas.
Oh my gosh. Oh god, I mean, what does KCM think about this? I'm so curious to know. Like, after watching this as KCM, do you like change your mind and decide to change the format here in the KCM? I feel like just off of this game alone, we have to think like maybe it's time for a change up. It's possible that we will see KCM change his mind about that. And not have, tier 2 ladies making the difference here, making the final decision here between who's gonna, live and who's gonna die. I mean, Team Queen is betting everything on this right now. They're hoping that JB can win, but it just doesn't seem like it's gonna happen, and it is such a clown fiesta, as you said. Absolute mayhem. I think Kahiri is gonna be able to take this, though, and just just brutal that we're gonna have this be the end of our KCM team tournament. Kahiri with the Mutalist advantage, pushing back everything, and JB is just not gonna be able to recover from this.
Yeah, in 2023 it seems like a PR nightmare as well, but for the time being, it looks like JB is in a world of hurt right now. Kahiri trying to put the pressure on. Two of these mutants though, red HP, so good target firing. Actually, these mutants can go down. JB could kill these mutants with good target firing, so maybe now can flip the script a little bit. The Scourge coming in as well, take the expansion. Maybe there's a little bit of life in it for JB, but it's still gonna be tough though. I mean, the advantage is still definitely going to be in Kahiri's favor.
Yeah, absolutely going to be in Kahiri's favor. I mean, she needed the Scourge connections right there. But, you know, losing her Mutalist, and now going to go ahead and hit those Mutas of her opponents with her Scourge. Maybe if she's got another couple Scourge coming out here, she can kill this Muta. But she's still falling apart right now. She's got more Lings popping out. She needs to just send these across the map. Letting them die to the Mutas is the worst possible decision. You need to send these out, get some counterattacking going. There's not very many Lings on the side of Kahiri, and she can still produce Scourge right now, so she can still kill these Mutas. And if she kills the natural... Oh my god, she's got 4 Lings over here in the center right. What am I looking at? Oh my god. Okay, she's gonna kill the Sunken Colony for free. Scourge's gonna pop out here. Maybe she can kill enough drones on the side of Kahiri and clean up these Mutalists. Is this actually gonna work out? Maybe. Kahiri's not doing the greatest job cleaning this up. The Lings in the main are doing a huge amount of damage, and Scourge can run wild right now.
Wow, this game is absolutely off the chain right now.
Saying this is some like uncharted territory we're navigating right now, guys. Like, we don't know quite what's happening right now, but we're in the deep end, okay? We haven't quite explored the entirety of the ocean, yet we're still looking to the stars. Now it's time to turn our attention back to Earth and Mother Nature as we investigate once more the depths that lurk beneath.
There's not many drones here in the main. Quality casting there. I don't know what the hell is going on. I'm actually at a loss for words here as JB connects more Scourge onto these Mutas. Kahiri on paper should easily win this game with 6-7 Mutas now on the field and nothing but Scourge coming out of JB. It's a simple maneuver of just controlling your Mutalist properly. You should be able to take this win, but I don't know if Kahiri is capable of that. She's going to lose another one here. Okay, finally getting a moving shot going. She is going to start to control here against the Scourge. Another connection, though. 2 more connections going down. Every Mutalist here has like 1 HP, but not enough stuff here for JB to actually hold on against this. She's going to lose all of her drones, and that should be GG. Oh my god, what what an end to this game. Absolute insanity. If there was one Spore here, a Spore actually kills every single Muta, by the way.
Yeah, one single Spore basically wins that entire fight. I was thinking the exact same thing, saying, get out of my head. Now, though, we see a little desperate attempt from JB making her way downtown with the last few remaining units, trying to get something done, but it's going to be too little too late. GG finally called from JB as Team Light going to be your champions for this epic season in KCM, so.
You guys could see my face right now. A little bit sour about that. Damn it. JB just could not pull it together here to beat Kahiri, despite so many mistakes. Just not able to make it happen. If she'd only brought those Scourge with her, man. Bring the Scourge with the Lings in that initial fight, and I think she could have actually won that. So important to rally your hatcheries when you're doing an all-in attack like that. It was absolutely essential that she break Kahiri, at least destroy enough drones to make it a game, but she just wasn't able to make it happen. And what a scrappy, wild ZVZ to end things on. Absolutely ridiculous ending to this crazy season.
Yeah, seasonal as it is as well, with the Team Christmas lights showing up in full fashion and just dazzling the opposition right now, and kind of bringing a bit of festive cheer to us as they set ablaze to anyone in their path. Like, oh my god, I'm a little bit frustrated that JB was the straw that broke the camel's back for Team Queen here. It's a little bit of a bad news bears for us at home. Watching this and casting this, but we understand that, and it is what it is. We have to see if there's going to be any revision to the format in the next season. Maybe that will be the also the thing that tips KCM into maybe rethinking things just a little bit.
Yeah, I have to imagine that he's going to want to rethink things here. Team Light is your victor, and oof, man, I'm still reeling a little bit from that final game. I play a lot of ZVZ on the ladder, and that looked like a C rank game. Honestly, the connections on the mutas with the Scourge over and over and over again. It's like eventually you've got to be able to micro a little bit. Kiri was the one that managed to pull it together at the end there, and finally, get a few volleys off with the mutas as she was running away from the Scourge. But the entirety of that game was just mistakes on mistakes, compounding errors for both players, and that is sometimes how the game of Brood War goes, is just the player who makes less errors ends up taking the day, and in this case it was Kahiri. God, man. Yeah, just too many errors to talk about, really. Just so many things going wrong there, and I definitely think that we will see KCM think about reviving or revising this format, and maybe going back to the race war format in the future, maybe changing up the team format. I'm not sure, but that will be coming up in the new year, guys. So happy Christmas to all of you. Happy New Year. And all the best for this holiday season. I hope you guys are having a blast, and I hope you are enjoying yourself as well, Shun, getting together with some family and your grandmother. Absolutely. I know you're going to be hanging out with her. So all the best to you, man. All the best to everybody out there who's been watching and been following along with this format. We're going to continue on in 2024. My God, I can't believe it's already that time, but it's about to be January here. And yeah, it's wild, but the KCM will continue. We will continue, and we hope that you guys will continue your support. So thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next season.